So, big life update, we're moving again. Hi, my name is Rivana. My family and I moved from South Africa to the United Kingdom, and I'm sharing that journey with all of you. Subscribe and follow along for videos on expat life, travel, and family fun. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It has been a while, and I've been meaning to do an update for the longest time. If you follow me over on Instagram and TikTok, you know that I share daily updates over there. But it is about time that I do a life update on here too. So, big life update, we're moving again, which is why my house looks like chaos, which is why there are boxes behind me. Yes, we're moving again. In about a month's time, we'll be hitting our 2-year mark here in the UK, and I cannot believe it. But no, we're not moving from the UK anytime soon. We have just acquired a new rental and we're going to be moving in this weekend. Now, it's not as big a move as when we moved from South Africa to the UK, yes, but moving is so hectic nonetheless, and the property market in the UK is insane. Now, the current rental that we're in is the place that we moved into when we moved to the UK, so we are basically heading on to 2 years here as well. But the one thing about living in London is realizing what you might have needed in a place that you didn't realize beforehand. So we actually found and acquired this place while we were still in South Africa. And in our mind, we sort of had a notion of the type of place we were looking for and the sort of space we needed. And when we moved here, obviously that changes because you're actually living here and you have more of an understanding of what you need and what you're looking for. So one of the things is obviously we've outgrown it. We're in a 2-bed now. We're moving into a 3-bed. Yay for an extra bedroom. And while we're still going to be in an apartment, we are now going to have a little bit of an outside space. So the girls are going to have a garden, which they are super excited about. Now, the UK property market is intense and it is very, very fast paced, especially here in London. In some instances, you find that a property will be off the market within minutes of entering it. So you have to be really quick if you want a place. When we were looking for this place while we were still in South Africa, we used the services of a property consultant. And to be honest, that is a route I highly, highly suggest, especially as an expat or a first-time renter in the UK. They just made this process so much easier for us, especially not understanding the market, not understanding how fast-paced it could be, and also not having any sort of credit reference here in the UK. I have 2 property consultants that I can highly recommend, and I will add their details onto the screen now, but you can also check the description box and I will add their details there as well. So when we found this place, they helped us with everything from viewing the places, to negotiating the terms, to telling us exactly what paperwork we needed to fill out, what was needed, how to basically motivate and create a bio for ourselves. So I found the service just really, really helpful. Moving abroad is a big move, obviously, and there's so much that you have to think about. There's so much that you have to do. There's so much admin around it. So when you have somebody to assist you in a process like just finding your home or helping you find your rental, it just streamlines it. It gives you so much more insight. They give you so much of valuable insight, and it just makes the process a lot simpler and it takes a little bit of the load off you. So this time our search was a little bit different. We did not use a property consultant because we actually didn't have any rush. We were just slowly looking. We sort of knew what we were looking for, but we weren't like super unhappy in the current place. So we just took it very slow. We didn't have that same pressure of when we did the move from South Africa to the United Kingdom. Though after going through the process, I think even a second time round, enlisting the services of a property consultant could be really helpful from an inside point of view. So I would say our property interest started about 6 to 8 months ago. And we just started putting feelers out, just looking on Rightmove, on an app called Rightmove. I'll put a little logo here so you can have a look. And we took it quite slow because for us, it was also quite important that we stayed in the same area. We are staying in the same area. We're still close to the schools that we're interested in sending the girls to. But it did take a while, especially with the rental, because you're not buying, you can't change much. So there's a lot of boxes that we needed to be ticked. And I think hopefully with the place that we're moving into, we've mostly ticked all of the boxes. But as a result of this, obviously I have some tips to share. So here are some tips if you are entering the UK rental market. First and foremost, you're gonna wanna do your research. So research different areas, look at the rental prices, just understand the local market dynamics. You will want to consider factors such as transportation, look at how close you are and how connected you are to public transport, looking at schools, and then if you're a family, looking at stuff like cultural amenities, parks, and stuff to do with the family around your neighborhood. You can download apps like Rightmove or Zoopla. I found Rightmove very helpful. They have a little school checker. They also have a public transport checker, so you can immediately see how close you are to stations, and you can also see the schools that are listed in the area, and you can see their Ofsted ratings. Now you have to be really quick. So the minute you see a property that you want to check out, you have to contact them immediately, arrange a viewing as soon as you possibly can. don't delay it, because it's very likely that that property is going to go. I remember seeing a property that was literally perfect, and you have an option of request a viewing and make an offer, and somebody already made an offer before I could even get a viewing. So that is how crazy the market is. Another good thing to do is just to register your details with all of the agents in the area, so that if any new rentals come to the market, they give you a call before they put it on any of these sites. And that is something that is quite helpful if you just constantly engage with them and check in on them if there's new property that fits your criteria. You have to also be flexible with dates. So one of the reasons why we weren't in such a rush is because obviously we were happy with the current place. But one of the things we had to budget for and be mindful of was that most places that come up for rental have a specific move-in date, and they are not generally flexible on that. So a lot of the time you're going to have to overlap occupancy of your new place and serving your notice in your old place. So we didn't want to give notice on our current place until we found something that we loved, for obvious reasons, because we didn't want to be pushed into a corner of just having to take a rental just because we had a date that we needed to move out of here. So we did have an overlap, it's also been helpful for the moving process, but it is something to be mindful of and something that you have to budget for. Whether it is a month, whether it's 2 weeks, it's not easy, and it's something that you have to think about and budget for. Also, as an expat, if you're coming over, you're obviously dependent on your visa timelines, and that can also pose a different complication. So just to plan ahead, be aware of that, be mindful of that, and I think that's where a property consultant really does become helpful. Which brings me back to budgeting, because I think you underestimate the costs of moving. So firstly, you have to pay 5 weeks rent upfront as a deposit. Do consider the additional costs of like utilities, council tax, etc., etc. Also, as an expat, there might be currency fluctuations, so just bear that in mind. Nobody likes those kind of surprises. Now, once you put your application through and once you decide you love a place and you wanna put in an offer, unfortunately, the market is so tight and there's just not enough rentals that sometimes people put in an offer above asking price, which I find really crazy. So a lot of the times, if you can actually look at a place under your budget and then offer more, you might be more likely to secure a place. Some landlords are more tenant focused, so they're looking for a specific profile of a tenant. So including a bio of yourself, including information about you and your family with some pictures, stuff that you guys like to do, who you are, just also adds a nice little profile to send through and just showcases who you are, because a lot of them can also be tenant focused. And again, going back to the point of budgeting, if it's something you can do, and I think especially as an expat or somebody that's moving over here, a first-time renter here, if you can pay some rent upfront. So a lot of the times, if you can offer to do 6 months upfront or 3 months upfront, it can make for a stronger application. It's not always a necessity, it's just something that the landlord might look at and might find appealing or more interesting about your offer. So those sorts of things can help. Again, not everybody can do that. It's not something that we did. We offered on asking price, which we were thankful for. We didn't have to go above asking. We were one of the first people to actually see the place, so there weren't any other offers that were coming in. Our move-in dates aligned quite nicely. We only had an overlap, I think, of 2 weeks or so, but it is unfurnished, and the place we're in now is partly furnished, so we've had to budget and just prepare for basically furnishing the whole house. I was talking so much I forgot about my tea, and now it is cold. Also guys, it is winter and we are struggling with the bugs. Ray's in reception, so she's literally bringing home like the plague. And they always have it for a few days, and then we're really sick for a longer time. So that is a little bit of an update as to where we currently are. As for the rest of my house, and I'm moving away from my ring light now, and it is a very, very gloomy day in the UK if you have a look outside. But we have so much to do still. We are basically trying to pack room by room. We've taken occupancy of the property already, so we are starting to take some, like the bags of clothes have gone through already. We've taken some of the kitchen stuff, some of the pantry stuff. So the new house is looking crazy right now. There's just lots of stuff everywhere, but we will get there. So guys, that is my update for now, and I hope you find these tips helpful. If you do, let me know in the comment section. Thank you for watching. Till next time, hopefully from our new place.